This is where we left off yesterday, and there's no use me doing a whole bunch of voiceover now because it's going to be really obvious what's going on. You know, it's amazing how well these parts all fit. Yeah, looks pretty straight actually. Now you will remember these little pieces are the ones that we did those delicate photo etched chairs on. So as you can imagine, I am being very careful not to bend them. I wanted to aim out just a little bit. Not dead ahead, but just a little bit off to the port side. I think that's straight. Now we'll do the other side the same way. Now I'm just doing a dry run here, but the ladder is supposed to go right there. Well, not quite like that. You know, that's pretty close already. Maybe if I can push the bottom out just a smidgen. I'm not even breathing almost. That's pretty much got it, I think. Looks good to me. Maybe the bottom could go just a little bit more. I know what you're all thinking. You're thinking he's going to just keep poking at it until finally he knocks it down and has to start all over again. There, I think that's it. Okay, I think what I'm going to try to do is just tack it in place with extra thin. Pretty hard to put just a little bit on. And then I'll use the did I get it? I'll use the CA glue later. I don't think I did a very good job on that last one. Got it on the step. Guess I was looking too much straight down. Well, I think after that sets or dries out, I don't think it's going to fall off of there. Then I'll reinforce it maybe with the CA glue. Okay, our extra thin has more than set up now. And I'm going to try to not, put so terrible much on. Just going to do the top first. I know when I'm editing out some of these scenes that I've done with the macro lens, I can't believe it how much I put on. Yeah, it looks like it's making contact all around there. Now you may ask yourself, well, why don't you watch in the monitor? Well, the reason being is because, first of all, main reason is most of the time it's backwards. And secondly, there is a little bit of a lag that goes on. So, okay, now we'll do the bottom. You know what? Maybe I only need to do one of those rails. So then why am I trying the second one? Now, you see every tiny little speck of dust, including this little thing right here. I just brush it off. The reason I noticed that is because I was thinking, would it be possible to maybe sort of scrub this black rubber off of there? No, it doesn't want to come. What I'm afraid of is that if I try to brush this, we're going to lose the detail. Now, the last time I was doing painting like this, I was using this brush right here. The reason I was using it is because it was square on the end, and I thought it would probably work really well to go right up against the, and then pull back. That's why I was using this one. I do have what I think is probably a 000. At any rate, it's the finest one I've got. It's a little bit frayed out on me there. I'll have to take the scissors to that, I guess. Okay. Get a little bit more on there. Now I think the problem is this is still thinned out for the airbrush. Yep, that's what the problem is. It's too thin. Too thin. Maybe I'll have better luck on this side. At least we'll make it look somewhat better. Yeah, let's leave well enough alone. Looks quite a bit better, actually. Okay, I'm sampling my paint from the cap where it's a little bit thicker, and I don't know if this is going to be a good idea or not. Okay, I'm thinking when that dries, it might be okay. We'll look at it in a few minutes. I've repositioned this thing so we're not getting that terrible reflection from the side lights. And secondly, I realized what happened to my little brush here. I've since cleaned it out, as you can see. But I used this brush when I was cleaning out the nozzle of the airbrush, and I think I damaged the bristles. They got bent over, some of them. So that's kind of too bad. Anyway, I think we got rid of most of the rubber, the black rubber marking, at least from a distance. Now I know you can't see it unless the light hits it just right, but on one of those little round discs that we put on yesterday, I think it was yesterday, or maybe it was the day before, there's a bare spot of photo etch. And if the light hits it just right, it just, where's my, there they are. If it hits it just right, it's like a little spotlight shining up at you. So I'm just going to try and get rid of it here. I'll just take a little bit where it's probably a little thicker. I want to be careful here. Not to touch the plastic, only the photo etch. I think I got it. Pretty sure. Yeah, pretty sure. We'll let that dry and we'll have a second look. Okay, I've swung this thing around now so that you're looking straight down on it from the top, and I'm not seeing any bare metal there at all anymore. Well, I can see a little shine, but that's probably from the glue. Well, that could be metal in the back, but it's at least that little light that we were getting flashing up at us if the light hit it just right. Mind you, probably wouldn't have anyway, because this whole area here is going to have superstructure on top of it, so it may not have had light bouncing, if you know what I mean. Anyway, I'm just sort of thinking out loud here. Okay, so what did people used to do before they had airbrushes? Or maybe I should say, somebody who's building this model and they don't have an airbrush. Well, use a paintbrush. I'm going to just see if I can't do this piece using paintbrushes. And along the outside of the walls, I'll be using the light gray. And the dark gray, well, that'll be for right here. You can't see it, but there's sort of a decking, textured decking there, and that would be dark, the same as the right here. Yeah, and then I will do the deck tan on the planking last, and the idea will be that I'll be able to go right up carefully to the edge and pull away, right up carefully to the edge and pull away. I think that probably will work the best for me. I'm not sure. I'm not going to try and video how I do this, because it's just going to be too awkward. I'm going to be twisting it this way and that way and holding it whatever is best for my vision at the time. So we'll have a look at it afterwards and see what kind of a mess I made. Wonder if I should wear my gloves. I was noticing that on the tops of some of these little edges here, I didn't get the paint. The paint didn't spray very thick. Probably because of the way I had the airbrush angled in from the side as this thing was rotating around. However, I don't think that's really important, because this piece here is going to mount something like this, and you're not going to be able to see that anyway. Now, I have gone all the way around the edge with the light gray. I could possibly have it stand a second coat. Maybe I should. Looks a little bit like in a place like right here. It's kind of faint. Yet on the other hand, maybe it's okay. Anyway, I'm going to try and do the deck tan now. Well, I don't know. Maybe I should give it a second coat. I did take the light gray and go around part of it, but I don't think I really improved on it too much. Well, here we go, sort of. It's going to be really difficult to try and get into a place like right here where I'm touching right now without getting up onto this part up here. We'll just do the best we can, I guess. Now, once again, you're going to notice that I am not going to be using the macro lens to show my painting, because it will look absolutely horrendous. I don't know if I can get in there or not. You know, it might be easier to just repaint the gray along this little leading edge here. At a distance, I can see where this will probably look okay. You know, like from across the street. No, I might have it too heavy there. I'm just going to use this fine brush for areas like this that are kind of hard, and then I can use my wider one to do the other areas. Maybe I should have gone a little closer there. Well, it's going to have a natural weathered look, I guess. Now, how am I going to get in here without touching the...
Now you're gonna notice that I still can't talk and work at the same time, especially when I'm doing something like this. Because when I'm doing something like this, well, half the time I'm holding my breath. Do you ever try and talk while you're holding your breath?
I know I'm probably going up on the wall just a little bit, but from the angle we're going to be viewing this, I don't think it's going to be noticed. Now right along here I don't have to be careful because the little piece of superstructure is going to go all the way around here. Yes, it's going to have that weathered look. Now the deck tan isn't dry yet, and I do not want to, be flooding this on here and losing all the detail. You know what? I'm going to have to turn this so I can see it better, which means you're not going to be able to see it. Okay, smooth this out a bit here. And I don't need to paint over places where it looks like it's starting to dry. If it looks good, just leave well enough alone. You see, I like this little paintbrush because it's square on the ends and I can go right up to the edge and then pull away. Now that's me. Somebody else might like to do it differently, and probably their way is better, but I don't want to be flooding it on there and filling up all those little holes.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think I remember hearing somebody saying at the beginning of this episode, I'm not going to be showing very much of the painting.
Well, it's getting a little bit heavy there. You can see it when it starts to look shiny. Okay, let's just let that dry and see what we got. About an hour or so has passed here now, and I think that probably, we've lost as much detail in the texturing as we're going to. And the planking on the deck, well, it's still showing up pretty good. And if I look down inside here, I can see the texturing on the deck there. Yeah, it's going to have to do. Now there is one little place right here that I'm noticing that I got the dark gray over the light gray, and I think I can just put this on here, and once it's dry, no one's going to notice. And then there was another spot. Where was that? Yeah, you notice on the side there. Trying to hold it so that you can see it. I got deck tan on there, and I think just touch it with a light gray. Mind you, no one's going to see that. It's on the inside of everything. Oh well. Okay, it's pretty hard to get this wrong because the way this is designed on the bottom of this piece here, right now I'm putting it together upside down, everything is sort of keyed, so you can't put this piece on wrong. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit of CA medium just from the inside and let it kind of wick its way along the seam. Just a drop on each corner here is probably going to be good enough. If I can get it to go up in there. Yeah, that'll just sort of run down. I know you can't see it, but I can see it. I don't think it'll run along the bottom of the deck there.
Now that turned out to be a lot better than it looked. I was able to sort of turn the thing on its side, and the CA glue all ran in the right place, and it didn't get on the bottom of the deck where anybody could see it, even if they were to use a mirror or something and, look from the bottom. Like I say, it turned out better than it looked.
Now that piece that I was mistakenly referring to as the ladder, part of it plugs in, one end plugs in here, and the other end plugs in on the side down here somewhere. And that's not going to fit unless this is mounted on here. So the next step is I got to glue this on here. And there. So I think what I'll do is I'll just use a little bit of CA medium just around the outside here and then put it down. I think that'll be okay. That's more than enough. Let's see if I can get it on there square the first time so I'm not smearing it around all over the place. There we go. I want to make sure it's straight. Oh, it's cured. It's not moving. Now I think the thing for me to do is to get it into the side of the ship first. And then if I have to do any scraping around to get it to fit into the top, underneath the superstructure here, I won't be marking the side with the you know, the darker gray onto the lighter gray. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fasten it in just the way it is, and then after I'm sure that it's not going to spring out of there, then I'll just sort of bend it and try and get it in the rest of the way. So maybe I'll use CA glue on the end of the needle. Okay, here's the plan. I'm going to take it out. Okay. Then I'm going to see if I can get a little bit of CA glue in each hole. Don't want to wait too long. Okay. Now, try and get it back in. There. Maybe it went in too far. Yeah, maybe it went too far. Is that possible? Well, you know what? I think it's set up already. Well, if that's the case, am I going to break it by trying to spring it down like this?
Now, before I started this, I had checked the instructions to make sure I was getting it in the right way. Don't you know, I put it in the wrong way. That's why it wasn't fitting.
Kind of wants to move on me here. I have to sort of hold it down. I hope I'm not blocking your vision. Now that one's in. Now, can I get the other one in? Looks kind of bent. Yeah, if I come at it from this side. Okay, it's in. But it looks kind of bowed. You know what? I wonder if I was to apply the heat from the hairdryer to that, if that would... Oh, there it goes. It's sort of straightening out. Yeah. Looks good to me.
This is the angle that most people are going to be looking at it. Unless they sort of scrunch themselves down on their sides and look at it sort of from underneath, you're not going to really see that little ladder too much. However, it sort of adds to the detail, adds to what makes it look real. And I'm going to go ahead and do the other one exactly the same way, except I'm going to put it the right way up. And that sort of wraps it up for today. And there's not a whole lot left to do here in step 30. I don't see any reason why we shouldn't be completely finished with step 30 in tomorrow's episode. So, thanks for watching, and all being well, we'll see you tomorrow.